Welcome students for this lecture, which is about theory of fundamental load compensation, and we were discussing in the previous class how to compensate the three-phase unbalanced load where a resistance was connected between phase A and phase B, and we have analyzed that whole circuit, and we found that after adding some admittance purely reactive network for the compensator, we found that the equivalent original delta is in this figure here, the right hand side, and then we converted into the star to solve for the currents by using the formula for delta to star transformation. Then we found that this is the equivalent delta. So I was asking a question whether this system is a balanced. To know that, we have to find the line currents. Now the line currents are IA, IB, IC. Here you can see. Okay, these currents have to be computed before we say anything that whether they are balanced or not balanced. So these currents have to be computed. Since this is three-phase, three-wire system, ungrounded system, the neutral is floating. So we cannot directly compute the current like BA by something. We have to compute by the expression which we developed in the previous class, that BNN is equal to 1 by ZA plus 1 by ZB. We are here plus 1 by ZC, and then into BA by ZA, BAN by ZB, and BN by ZC. Okay, this is the expression that we have developed using the Kirchhoff current law in that expression. Now, as you know that the value of ZA and ZB and ZC are shown here, if you remember. Okay, these are the values. So this is A, and this is B, and this is C. Substitute these values here, we will see that this is 1 by J root 3 by GLAB, and this is 1 by minus J. So these will cancel. Okay, these two will cancel, ZA and ZB, and ZC was 1 by 3 by ZLAB. So ZC was 3 by ZLBC, this one. And this side we have B angle 0 by J root 3 by GLAB. Okay, this is BA, this is BA here, so this is BA by ZA. In fact, this is BAN, this is BBN y ZB, this is ZA, and this is BCN y ZC. Okay, so once we have this, then we will simplify this expression. So here this is gone, the GL will come up, and GL will go with this GL. This GL will go with this GL on the inside the bracket. So GL is ruled out from the whole expression. B is common, so B is common here. We should write B here actually. So B is common here. This B is common, and we have to simplify simply these quantities. So this becomes here minus JY, because this is J in the denominator, so minus J by root 3. Okay, so this is minus J by root 3. You can see here this side, minus J by root 3. So this is minus J by root 3, this one, this term. Okay, then this become plus J, but there is a angle of minus 120. So minus 120 is minus half minus J root 3 by 2. This is minus 120, and the other one is minus J root 3. So minus J goes up, becomes plus J here. So plus J by root 3. Okay, and for the third component, the third term, angle is 120 degree, which is minus half and plus J root 3 by 2. So this is angle of 120 degree, and then 3 by GLAB. So GLAB is gone anyway, so 3 will come down, so this is by 3 here. Now what we do, we will simplify these terms. The 3 is common because the 3 has come here from this term, this 3. So this 3 is here. Okay. We want to simplify this. So what we will do, we will cut this 3 from the denominator of 3. So this 3 is gone with this 3. Here this is gone with this 3. And here we have to use 3 in the numerator and 3 in the denominator. Just we want to simplify it. Okay. So 3 by 3, 3 by 3. Again this 3 is gone with this 3, this is gone with this 3. So finally we have minus this whole term, the first term become, this will become as minus j root 3. And the second becomes minus j root 3 by 2. Because there is an additional factor of 2 here, this 2 here. And then minus half is there, so minus half becomes minus, this is minus j square becomes plus, so this becomes 3 by 2. So this becomes 3 by 2. Minus j into minus j becomes j square, minus j square, it becomes plus 1. So this and this becomes this, and this becomes this. Okay. Similarly here we have two terms. Minus half is from directly from this, and j root 3 by 2 is from this. Again this j root 3 by 2 plus and j root 3 by 2 minus, this and this will cancel. Therefore the remaining terms are 3 by 2 minus half, which is nothing but 2 by 2, which is 1. So this become 1. It is here. And minus j root 3 by 2, okay, is minus j root 3 is here. So this has become this term. So finally we have this term, neutral voltage. And if we simplify further, we just take 2 common, it becomes 1 by 2 minus j root 3 by 2, and this is nothing but angle of minus 60 degree. So we finally get the neutral voltage as 2b angle of minus 60 degree. Okay, this is very interesting and very insightful, because you see the neutral voltage is twice of the phase voltage. Can you imagine? Phase voltage is simply B angle of 0. So phase voltage is B with the B RMS value. But neutral voltage is of the voltage between the two neutrals is twice of the phase voltage and angle of minus 60 degree. So it is very highly unbalanced three-phase system. It shows that. Okay. So neutral voltage should be 0 voltage in ideal power system. It is now twice of the phase voltage. That is fine. Let us say it is some voltage. Okay. Let us not worried about the magnitude, because the circuit is highly unbalanced. It is expected like that only. Now what is the current IA? So IA will be now VA N minus VNN by ZA, because there is a neutral voltage. So this is B0 minus 2B minus 60 degree, by ZA was Z root 3 by ZLAB. Okay. This is also equal to, directly if you want, right, it is also equal to minus 1 minus j root 3. Okay. So you can also write B and N equal to simply B 1 minus j root 3, which was actually 2B angle of minus 60 degree. So it is easy to simplify if you write in this form. Okay. If we write in this form, it is simple to verify this form, because 1 is already here. So 1 is gone. So it is j root 3 minus minus plus by j root 3 by ZLAB, which is finally B into ZL AB. Okay, so the last expression B into ZL AB, and therefore IA equal to BA, because B is same as VA. BA is the reference phasor, so therefore BA is same as B angle 0, which is same as B. So you can write IA is equal to BA into GLB, or BA by IA phasor equal to 1 by GLB, which is equal to R. So you see the two currents are in phase, the current and voltage are in phase. Okay, the current and voltage are in phase. So even though it look as if there is a resistance, inductance, capacitance, but the A phase current is in phase with the A phase voltage. But let us see the second phase, IB. So IB is equal to BBN minus BNN by ZB. So VBN is B angle of minus 120 degree, and B neutral is B angle of 60 degree, or 2B angle of minus 60 degree, or B in bracket 1 minus J root 3, and ZB is minus J root 3 by ZL AB. Just simplify this. You will see the first part is minus half minus 3 by 2. So this the first part is minus half minus J root 3 by 2, and then second part is minus 1 plus J root 3 by 2. This one, join them, the real part become minus 3 by 2 plus J root 3 by 2, and then take common minus J root 3. Why I want to take common minus J root 3 minus J root 3? Because I want to cancel this actually and make this real term in the denominator. So I will take intentionally minus J root 3 as a common. Then you will get minus half here and plus J root 3 by 2 here. What is this thing? This is angle of 120 degree minus. So this is nothing but this thing. And this minus J root 3 will go away with this minus J root 3. So finally we will get, and what is this? This is nothing but BB. So IB is equal to BB by 1 by GL AB, or we can write here the BBN by IB equal to 1 by GL AB is also equal to R. So we also find that B phase line current is also in phase with the respective B phase voltage. Let us try third phase. IC equal to BCN minus BNN by ZC. Same thing, BCN is B angle of 120 degree, and BNN is 1 minus J root 3 by J root 3. Simplify them, minus half plus J root 3 by 2, minus half minus J root 3 by 2. So this will go away, J root 3 by 2 and J root 3 by 2 will add up here, and they become twice of J root 3, and this becomes minus 3 by 2. Again we take common, this time 3 common will take. We want to cancel this part of the term, so we take 3 common, then it becomes minus half plus J root 3 by 2, and this is nothing but angle of 120 degree. So this become again BC. So we also see that BC by IC is equal to R. So what do we see? That all three currents are in phase with their respective voltages. You can see here, this is what we have proved it. Even though circuit looks like as if it contains as if it has the resistance, the inductance and capacitance, but if you look from the utility side, it sees the circuit as a perfectly three-phase balanced circuit. what source sees is this. What you have on the load side is this. So there are two different experiences. One experience is from the load side, another experience is from the source side. Okay? So source sees it in the circuit as a balanced three-phase circuit. However, the load has a different configurations. What is the equivalence between these two circuits? If they are same, then what this N is doing? They cannot be same. Their characteristic in terms of the element cannot be same. So what is the difference between these two circuits? Obviously they are not same. If you look, compare 1:1, like this is capacitance, this is resistance, this is inductance, this is resistance, this is resistance, this is resistance of different value. So obviously they are not same. So difference is the N dash. The difference is N dash makes a difference. If you compare N dash with N, they are not behaving in the same way. How they are behaving? B and N, the first one here, this voltage between this and this, the voltage between this and this is 2B angle of minus 60 degree. While as the B and dash N, the angle between the voltage between this point and this point is 0. This point and this point is 0. So this angle is voltage is 0. Okay, that's why the circuit behavior with respect to neutral is different. If I ground this neutral, it does not make any difference. So it is as if I have grounded this virtual ground, let us somewhere is there, and then it is a perfectly balanced circuit. Whereas you cannot ground this. The behavior responsible for having a three-phase balanced circuit, okay, this side, is because we allow the neutral to float, and because of that structure we can manipulate the currents. Okay, so that was the trick. If we won't allow neutral to float, this will never happen. You will never able to transform to this behavior of the circuit. So remember the difference between these two circuits. Okay, but thing is that finally that we are able to compensate the absolutely unbalanced load, almost worst unbalanced load you can say, with the help of purely reactive network by adding these compensator parameters. Okay, these are the compensator parameters, compensator susceptances that we added. B gamma AB, between AB B have added the zero susceptance, between B and C we added J GL AB by root 3 susceptance, and between C and A we added minus J GL AB by root 3. Now the question is that you may ask, how do you get those values? So first I said, let us assume that we know these values from somewhere, and then we have realized that yes, it is possible to compensate these load currents which are unbalanced to perfectly a balanced three-phase system. Now we ask the questions, how do we get those values? What is the theory behind these derivations, these terms? Okay, so this comes under the theory of load compensation for fundamental components that is at fundamental frequency. So this theory is a very generalized theory which says that you can compensate any three-phase unbalanced load, ungrounded three-phase system load with the help of the purely reactive network. And we also have seen one example that it is possible to do that. But we have taken a very specific example, so we want to generalize it. Okay. So here in this figure, these are the original loads here. This is original loads AB, BC and CA. Okay, and this is the compensated system. This is the compensated system where we have the compensator as well. So this is the compensator Y gamma AB, Y gamma BC, Y gamma CA placed across each load. Okay, this is Y gamma by LAB. So by LAB has Y gamma AB across it, and YLBC has Y gamma BC, and YLCA has a Y gamma CA. Okay, so each load is shunted with the respective compensator susceptances, so that we will get the current IA, IB, IC balance irrespective of the values of YLAB, YLBC or YLCA. Okay. Now let us see how do we develop this theory, or how we formulate this theory and develop the expression for susceptance of the compensator. By the way, it is a perfect algebra problem that we have three variables and we need to have three equations. What are three variables? The three variables are V gamma, B gamma AB, B gamma BC and B gamma CA. These are three variables. So we need to have three equations to solve them. Okay, we need three equations to solve them. These three equations will come from three conditions. In fact, they will come from two conditions also. So we need some compensation criteria or objectives, and based on these objectives we will form some formulations. What are these objectives? We will try to see that. The first thing is that we would like to express these voltage and currents and line currents. This I discussed in the previous class also, that we can express the voltage like this. So we have balanced voltage in this particular case, and the load currents are unbalanced because we have a different impedances and different phases. So you see it here that this is the A phase voltage here, this is B phase and this is the C phase. We have expressed in terms of alpha or A square. Okay, what is A? Is a complex operator. I have told you in the beginning when we discussed the symmetrical components. So alpha is one angle of 120 degree and alpha square is one angle of minus 120 degree, and 1 plus alpha square is property of this complex operator is equal to 0. Okay, this you already know it. So using this we can find out IA. This also we express, but I am again repeating it so that you can do it very easily. IAB minus ICA. If you apply this current formula here, this is IA. So this IA is nothing but this IAB. IA is here. IAB minus ICA. This one. Okay, this is CA. So this is here. Then substitute the value of IAB in terms of BAB and YLAB. So IAB nothing but YLAB, and ICA is VCA into YLCA. So BAB into YLAB minus BCA into YLCA. Substitute BAB. What is BAB? Is BA minus BB. So BA minus BB is 1 minus alpha square because this is B. Okay, so 1 minus alpha square. This is 1 minus alpha square here into YLAB, and BCA is C minus A. So this is alpha minus 1. So alpha minus 1 by LCA B. We already have developed these expressions in the previous class. Just I am expressing for the sake of completeness. And then we have IB, which is IBC minus IAB. Again substitute these values in terms of voltage. we will get alpha square minus alpha into YLBC minus 1 minus alpha square into YLAB. And then IC is ICA minus IBC, which is alpha minus 1 by LAB by LCA and minus alpha square minus alpha by LBC. So we know these currents, and also already you know that if we sum them, the sum is equal to 0, because this is 3-phase 3-wire system. There is no path to flow the 0 sequence current. So this is also equal to 0. You can prove them. Alright, this part is repeated from the previous discussion. So what? We know these currents. What to do next? The next step is to resolve these currents into the symmetrical components. As last time one student asked the question that will the negative sequence of the compensator be equal to the negative sequence of the load? Yes, that's true. So these conditions of negative sequence, positive sequence, zero sequence, they have to be expressed in such a way that these satisfy the compensation characteristic or compensation requirements. So the first step is to resolve these line load currents into the respective zero sequence, positive sequence, negative sequence currents. Okay, so we will use this matrix. This matrix we already developed earlier. The only difference is there, we are using here 1 by root 3 transformation. So this is zero sequence of current. This is positive sequence, 1 for positive sequence, 2 for negative I have used. There are no harmonics here. So this is IA, L, IB, L, IC, L phasors, and they are being transformed to the respective zero, positive and negative sequence through this symmetrical transformation matrix. Okay, this 1 by 3rd root 3, earlier we have taken 1 by 3. So 1 by 3 was referred as power invariant transformation. This is called unitary transformation. Unitary in the sense that the each quantity IA, IB, IC these are mapped to the respective 0, 1, 2 components. That is zero sequence, positive sequence, negative sequence. There is no ABC here. We did not use word ABC. The advantage of this is that you need not to consider ABC separately, and when you take inverse of this matrix, it will be same as 1 by root 3, and these elements are transposed. Okay, so in unity transformation, what is there? The I0L accounts for IAL, IBL, ICL zero sequence. You will not treat them separately. Similarly, I1L accounts for I1AL, I1BL, I1CL, and I2L accounts for I2AL, I2BL, I2CL. Okay, so this is only difference, nothing else. It is just convenience. You can also use 1 by 3, it's not a big deal. In that case, the 3 factor will come in the power. Last time I discussed this also. Alright, so this is the symmetrical component transformation, and from this we will get the values as I0L, I1L, I2L. So I0 sequence is IAL, we can separate them out, plus IBL plus ICL by root 3. So this into this. Okay, this into this becomes this, and I1L is IAL into IBL, this alpha into IBL, and plus alpha square into ICL. I2L is IAL by root 3 is gone. Please add them. Add this by root 3 here. So this is by root 3. Okay. And now let us examine these components very carefully. The first one is zero sequence I0L. I0L is 0. Why? Because this is 0. Okay. The sum of the phasor of three phase currents equal to 0. I have not added L here, but by default L is there. So zero sequence load current is equal to 0. Then let us compute the positive sequence load current, which is IAL plus alpha into IBL plus alpha square into ICL. We want to simplify this and see in terms of voltage. We already know what is IA, what is IB, what is IC. Okay, from these values of IA, IB, IC, we can simplify the expression for I1L, or positive sequence load current. So this whole expression is the alpha IAL, this is IAL, plus alpha into IBL, this is IBL. This whole thing is IBL. Plus alpha square into ICL. So this is ICL. So IAL plus alpha into IBL plus alpha square into ICL y root 3 into B. Now we simplify further. Just collect the coefficients of YLAB, YLVC and YLCA. Then we will see YLAB has 1 minus alpha square from this term, and YLAB from is minus 1 minus alpha square. So this becomes minus minus plus. So alpha into 1 becomes alpha here, minus alpha for this sign, and alpha into plus alpha square becomes alpha 3. So this into this becomes this. Similarly, YLBC, if you see, YLBC is here, this is YLBC. Okay, so this is YLBC and this is YLBC. The components are alpha 3 from here minus alpha square, from here it is alpha 4 minus alpha 4 plus alpha 3, this into this. And then finally YLCA. So this is YLCA and YLCA here. It becomes minus alpha plus 1 from here, this one, so minus alpha plus 1, and then it becomes alpha 3 minus alpha square. Now we see these terms of each admittance. Okay, 1 minus alpha square minus alpha plus alpha 3 is same as 1, so this is 1, so 1 plus 1 2, and minus alpha square becomes again 1, because 1 plus alpha square equal to 0. So this becomes 3. Similarly, this becomes 3 also, because alpha 3 is 1, this is 1, this is 1, and this is alpha. So minus alpha square minus alpha becomes also 1. To become 3. So 3 is common for this also. And this also becomes 3 because this is 1, this is also 1, and this together becomes 1. So 1, 1, 1, 3. 3 is common. And finally we have therefore YLAB here, YLVC, YLCA, B root 3. Now 3 will go with this root 3, and finally we will get YLAB plus YLVC plus YLCA into root 3B or B root 3. Okay, so we have simplified I1L as this expression, and I0L is 0. Let us find I2L. This negative sequence of load current is IAL plus alpha square IBL plus alpha CL by root 3. The change is the place of alpha and alpha square. Earlier it was alpha here, alpha square was here, now this is alpha square, this is alpha. So just same procedure we will follow as we have done for I1L, no change except the position of alpha and alpha square will change. So this is IAL, the whole thing is IAL here. This is alpha square into IBL, this is alpha into ICL. Collect the coefficients of YLAB, YLBC and YLCA. We will get these terms 1 minus alpha square from AB. This is YLAB here and this is AB here. So this gives us 1 minus alpha square from this, and from this alpha square minus alpha square plus alpha 4, this one. Okay, and then comes the next one, YLBC. This is YLBC here and YLBC here. So this is alpha 4 here, alpha 4 minus alpha 3. So alpha 4 minus alpha 3 is here, and this side is alpha minus alpha 3 plus alpha square, minus alpha 3 plus alpha square. And CA, this is CA part, so CA is here and CA is here. Where is CA? This is CA. The coefficient is minus alpha plus 1, so this is minus alpha plus 1 this side, and alpha square minus alpha. Okay, let us simplify them and see. So this first coefficient is 1 minus alpha square minus alpha square, so this is minus 2 alpha square here, and alpha 4 is same as alpha. Okay, alpha 4 is same as alpha. So 1 plus alpha is nothing but minus alpha square from this. So minus alpha square minus alpha square minus alpha square 3 times. So minus 3 alpha square. So minus 3 is here, alpha square here. The coefficient of YLAB is alpha square minus 3 alpha square in fact. The coefficient of YLBC is, look, these terms here. So alpha 4 is alpha actually, okay, and alpha 3 is 1. So this is minus 1, this is minus 1, and this is alpha plus alpha square, this one, alpha plus alpha square. What is that? Again minus 1. So this is another minus 1. So we have minus 3 into YLBC. So minus 3 is common, YLBC is here. Okay, and the third one is YLCA coefficient. Here it is minus alpha plus 1 plus alpha square minus alpha. So you can see it here, this is minus alpha, this is minus alpha. So minus 2 alpha. And this becomes minus alpha, another minus alpha, so minus alpha more. So it becomes minus 3 alpha. So this is minus 3 alpha, minus 3 is common here. So this is alpha here. This 3 will go with this here, so root 3 will come here, and hence it becomes root 3b this side, and minus is common, alpha square YLAB plus YLBC plus alpha into YLCA. Sorry. This one. Alpha square YLAB, then YLBC and alpha YLCA. If you want to remember, then you have to use the sequence of the coefficient. The first is alpha square. We have sequence of 1 alpha alpha square. So start from alpha. If you start from alpha, the sequence becomes alpha square 1 and alpha. Okay, so 1 2 it's like ABC BAC CAB. It's like a CAB. If you say like that, the sequence is CAB. So start from alpha, then 1, then alpha, and negative sign will be there. Root 3b is common in both the things. So these are 3 symmetrical component currents for the load. Okay, Now, if we connect the compensator across them, across the each load, so this is the compensator, this is CA, this is AB, and this is BC, then we can write similar expressions for the compensator currents. No change because the structure is same. It's a delta connected compensator impedances or admittances. So we can similarly write the expression for the compensator currents accounting the compensator admittances across each load element. So we can write therefore I0 gamma is equal to 0 because 3-phase 3-wire system, ungrounded system, and I1 gamma will be by gamma AB plus by gamma BC plus by gamma CA into root 3B, similar to this, no change because structure is same. And then the next will be here, okay. The next equation will be this one, and this is similar to this equation. I2 gamma will be therefore minus in bracket alpha square by L AB plus by L BC plus by L CA into root 3B. Okay, so we now have the symmetrical components of the load current and of the compensator. But here is one thing, for compensator the real part of the admittance is equal to 0. For example, if by gamma AB equal to G gamma AB plus J B gamma AB. So G gamma AB equal to 0. Why it is 0? The compensator consists of purely reactive network. There is no resistance, otherwise it will cause losses. It will manipulate the active power, while our intention is to manipulate the reactive power only, not the active power. So therefore, the real part of the each compensator susceptance is equal to 0. Okay, and because of that, the Y gamma AB will be equal to only J B gamma BC, and Y gamma BC will be equal to J B gamma BC, and Y gamma CA will be equal to J B gamma CA. And therefore, these currents for compensator will be this, will be transformed to these currents. I 0 gamma equal to 0, I 1 gamma is J B gamma AB plus B gamma BC plus B gamma CA into root 3B, and I2 gamma is equal to minus J alpha square B gamma AB plus B gamma BC plus B gamma CA root 3B. So now we have these two things. We have three symmetrical components for 3-phase load currents and 3-phase compensator currents. This side is the load current, this side is the compensator current. So now we have to set conditions of the compensation so that we can correlate them. What should we do with these terms? We need to correlate them. We have to find the conditions, we have to formulate the equations to solve for B gamma AB, B gamma BC and B gamma CA. Okay, so these currents are formulated in form of subconditions to correlate them and to solve for the three variables. And these three conditions are shown here. I will discuss in the next class. Okay, the first condition is this, that the zero sequence load currents must be 0 after compensation, which is by default 0 because this is 3-phase 3-wire system. Therefore, I0 gamma must be equal to minus I0 L equal to 0, which is very well satisfied. The second condition is the negative sequence load current, very important. Okay, the negative sequence load current should be compensated or will be compensated by the negative sequence of the compensator current. That is, I to gamma must be equal to minus 2 I to L, or in other words, the summation of the three currents must be equal to 0, or I to gamma plus I to L together must be equal to 0. That means that there should be no effective negative sequence current to be supplied from the source. The net effective or net zero sequence negative sequence current must be equal to 0. And the third condition comes from that the total positive sequence I don't know what is happening here, it's not coming. Total positive sequence current, that is load plus compensator, should be giving you or giving the system a desired power factor from the source. That means that imaginary of I1L plus I1 gamma divided by real of I1L plus I1 gamma must be equal to tan phi, the desired power factor from the source, or equal to beta for a given power factor. Okay, what is the net positive sequence component from the source? That is I1S equal to I1L plus I1 gamma, okay, or minus I1 gamma depending upon the direction you take for the current for the compensator. Alright, so it will have the real part of this, imaginary part of this, and therefore it will form the overall power factor. That power factor is decided by the ratio of the imaginary of I1L plus I1 gamma divided by real of I1L plus I1 gamma, and that power factor is, we will decide it that we want suppose unity power factor. So in that case this will be 0, phi will be 0 for unity power factor, UPF operation, or we want 0.8 power factor lag, then will be tan of 30. So based on that, the third condition. Okay, using these conditions we will formulate the expression for the compensator susceptances. That I will continue in the next class.